President Ramaphosa compares the ANC monologue to CODESA. That is not only ridiculous, but more importantly, so revealing. In this video, I'm going to take us deep into that. And if you stay with me until my biblical reaction, we'll get past and get to something you can do, because we are on a mission, aren't we? Haven't we decided that South Africa will prosper and we are unstoppable? Good. Then press like and let's go. Before I get to Ramaphosa, Mike Sham of the State of the Nation and Political Insider did an awesome poem that I thought I need to start by just playing the first 2 minutes of it. Take a listen.
It was the famous poet T.S. Eliot who wrote the poem called The Hollow Man, and it ends with the most popular lines in any 20th century poem. This is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but with a whimper. I am going to put it to you that South African politics changes and has changed, not with a bang, but with a whimper. Basically, the change is upon us, whether the politicians like it or not. For the past year, we have seen the almighty, all-conquering, all-powerful ANC lose their majority.
The African National Congress celebrates its 5th consecutive election win. Jacob Zuma is upbeat as he begins his 2nd term in office. Millions of South Africans have given his administration another chance. The president survived accusations of poor delivery of basic services and allegations of corruption.
Who can defeat us if we are with the people?
Nobody.
Who can?
No one.
No one. Those who are not with the people are not going to vote for them. And that's what has happened. And that's why other parties, of those who spoke so violently in parliament, they've been reduced into little dwarfs in parliament.
The Party of Liberation has been voted back into power as a party of government, but this time with a reduced majority.
Jacob Zuma's administration has now lost the ANC in 2 votes. In the first election, it fell from 70% to 66%, and now from 66% to 61.5%, 62%.
In public, senior ANC officials are celebrating their win. But after the pomp and fanfare is over, they'll likely head straight to the drawing board. The African National Congress is more than 100 years old. It's seen by many here as the party that liberated the black majority from apartheid. But opposition parties have done well in this election.
That mighty ANC. Sorry, continue.
Not with a bang, but with a whimper. We've seen the end of no consequences, state-sanctioned looting of the state end, not with a bang, but with a whimper. Seeing the end to struggle accounting and lack of accountability, not with a bang, but with a whimper. We're seeing the Cold War finally finishing in South Africa, where some of those old relationships that were there because something happened 40 years ago end, not with a bang, but with a whimper. Yeah, we've grown accustomed to those Hollywood-style endings where the bad guys get rounded up in one great action, get swooped and taken away in a big prison truck. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be like what we're living through at the moment, where one by one, there's some dirty cop, some criminal, some politician that just exits, maybe even goes to jail. Not with a great fanfare that we expected. For example, we expected after the Zondo Commission there'll be mass arrests. No, it's going to be a long process, but the tide has turned.
It's going to be a long process, but the tide has turned. And study suggests that ANC likely to only retain majority in 2 provinces after 2029. I imagine that's Eastern Cape and Limpopo. And the report analyzes trends before and after 2024's general elections and highlights where the country seems to be headed. So ANC has been on a downward spiral for a long time, and it's stressful to us because it's not with a bang, but with a whimper. And so since President Ramaphosa lost the election, the ANC lost, Ramaphosa has done two things that have rebelled against the voter. The second one we'll talk about just now, but the first one is the ANC Monologue. It is a rebellion against the voter. Let me show you. Listen to him.
The withdrawal of the foundations is not a train smash. The dialogue is going to go ahead. The people of South Africa want the dialogue to go ahead. And of course, with an undertaking of this nature, there will always be hiccups here and there, and various other dialogues that we've held in the past, be it the drafting of our constitution, even with the drafting of the Freedom Charter. There were some hiccups here and there, but what mattered was the outcome.
So he compares once again the national dialogue when the DA pulled out, Freedom Front pulled out, heavy duty foundations pulled out, EFF pulled out, MK pulled out, Action SA pulled out. He compares it to CODESA and the Freedom Charter. What was CODESA and what was the Freedom Charter? It's when the struggle fighters went to recruit the masses to overthrow the current order. What was the negotiation of the Constitution? It was a discussion to get rid of the present order and introduce a new order. Mr. Ramaphosa, what is the old order you are trying to get rid of? Here's the order that Ramaphosa is trying to recruit the public, recruit the masses to overthrow. It's the 40% election result. That's what the ANC monologue is about. It's about reversing the 40% election result, conducting a soft dialogical revolution against the election result. How do I know that? Well, number one, he's doing it without Parliament's blessing. Number two, he's doing it without Cabinet's blessing. Government, which right now is GNU, is not at the national dialogue. Parliament doesn't know where the money came from. Judges are not at the national dialogue. The governance of South Africa is not at the national dialogue because the governance of South Africa says you got 40%. He says, Amandla! Let the revolution continue and overthrow the 40% election he got. It's not a new trick. It's happened before. Absalom, son of David, wanted to overthrow the order. This is how he did it. It happened that Absalom provided himself. Did you see Musi Maimane asking him, who provided you the money? Because Parliament is supposed to provide you the money. Provided himself with chariots and horses and 50 men. Did he get any parliamentarians to represent? No. Provided himself eminent persons to run before him. Now Absalom would rise early and stand behind the way to the gate to the legitimate government. So it was whenever anyone who had a lawsuit came to the king for a decision that Absalom would call to him and say, what city are you from? And he would say, your servant is from such and such. Then Absalom would say, look, your case is good and right, but there's no deputy of the king to hear you. Come to me, for there's no deputy of the king to hear you. Moreover, Absalom would say, oh, if I was in charge, if I had 51% and everyone who had any suit cause would come to me, then I would give him justice. Come, let us find solutions to our problems together. Don't worry about the fact that the legitimate government is just down the road. Don't worry about who paid for your seat and your food here. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the fact that the second largest component of the government has boycotted. Don't worry about that. Come to me. Tell me your problems. Let's find solutions. In this manner, Absalom acted toward all Israel who came to the king for judgment. So Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel. Don't worry that you voted just a year ago. Don't worry that you put me in 40%, but I'm in 72%. Come to me, tell me your problem. Let's find a solution together. So Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel. This is the ANC monologue. It is a revolution against last year's vote. Undermining parliament, undermining government. Someone says, oh, but he's the president. Yes, cabinet has pulled out. He should be somewhere in a meeting with cabinet. But where is he? Tell me your problem. Let's find a solution together. Don't worry, you don't know that according to our constitution, Parliament is where all national dialogue should happen, and the executive can run smaller engagements to do with short-term goals, and 30-year dreams and 30-year goals should be discussed through Parliament. He says, no, come to me. Come to Papa. Papa understands. Tell me your problem, so that he can steal the heart from the institutions, from the Constitution, whose vote said you are no longer in charge. Recruit ignorant masses to come and help him to overthrow the 40% order and install an ANC in power again order. And how's it going?
We are the foot soldiers. We are on the ground. All of you here have bodyguards. We don't have bodyguards. We had a colleague who came here from 3 a.m. in the morning.
All right,
we
thank
are
you
foot
so
soldiers.
much.
We know what's happening on the ground. And if you say it's a national dialogue for us, you can't shut us down. It's said that you are here because 2026 elections are coming. So you're trying to buy our silence.
All right, thank you so much. Let's give that a hand.
Deal with them.
And then I'm just going to pause here because this is what we want. This is the dialogue we have been called to do. We are in plenary. We're not going to go into dialogue now because I'm going to give you the reason.
This is not a dialogue. I have a question, ma'am.
You
I have
may
a question.
answer-
No, I have a question before anybody.
Excuse me.
No, excuse me. Excuse me. First, you need to read the pedagogy of the oppressed.
Oh my gosh.
This process must be dialogical. It must not be one-sided. You don't come to talk down on us here. You don't decide for us. Nothing for us without us. Simple as that. And for the last time, this is a dialogue. Spend more time listening to us than telling us what to do. Stop talking down on us.
So yes, it's going mad, it's going crazy. A whole bunch of people shouting to themselves. Who are you talking to? To the government. Don't you know the government is the GNU, not present? Don't you know the government is parliament, not present? Doesn't even know who paid for that microphone. Who are you shouting at? Who are you talking to? It's not meant to produce anything but to recruit masses. Just like here, it happened before. Some of them cried one thing and some another, for the assembly was confused. And most of them didn't even know why they've been recruited to come and cry and complain and talk about all their problems. Now I said that's the second thing Ramaphosa has done to rebel against the 40% vote. What was the first thing he did to rebel against the 40% vote? Right here. The green behind me are the seats that the ANC has in the National Assembly. The blue are the seats that the ANC has in cabinet. So that side represents the GNU. The blue is all ANC. The rest take the yellow. That side represents National Assembly, the green is ANC, the rest are the other parties. So the composition of cabinet is a rebellion against the 40% vote that the ANC got. So what do? What's supposed to happen in this situation? The ANC has been in power so long, the country has never known what parliament is, what parliament does, what parliament is supposed to do. We experienced it a little bit under Jacob Zuma. Parliament is supposed to hold the executive to account. Well, this is when they got in trouble. It's this.
The president neither paid for the non-security installations nor reprimanded the ministers involved in the Nkandla project. This non-compliance persisted until these applications were launched and the matter was set down for hearing. All the president was required to do was to comply. The president thus failed to uphold, defend, and respect the Constitution as the supreme law of the land.
So the president failed to uphold the Constitution, rebelled against what was required constitutionally, and who got in trouble for this?
Returning to the National Assembly, that report was a high priority matter that required the urgent attention or an intervention by the National Assembly. It ought therefore to have triggered into operation the National Assembly's constitutional obligation to scrutinize and oversee executive action and to hold the President accountable as a member of the executive.
Right, so he says Parliament had to receive the report, this was Zuma, because Parliament is responsible to see what is this guy doing. We don't have a king, we have a president. And Parliament's full job is to say, what are you doing? What's going on? But our Parliament has never had the practice of being in charge because it was an ANC captured Parliament that just stamped whatever the president said. And right now, the ANC does not have 60% of Parliament. Yet it's very strange. Our parliamentarians complained after the national dialogue after we did. Then he closes by saying this.
In conclusion, neither the President nor the National Assembly was entitled to respond to the binding remedial action taken by the Public Protector as if it is of no force or effect, or as if it has been set aside. An order will thus be made that the President's failure to comply with the remedial action taken against him by the Public Protector is inconsistent with his obligations to uphold, defend, and respect the Constitution as the supreme law of the Republic. Similarly, the failure by the National Assembly to hold the President accountable by ensuring that he complies with the remedial action taken against him is inconsistent with its obligations to scrutinize and oversee executive action and to maintain oversight of the exercise of executive powers by the President.
So the President rebelled against what the Public Protector found. The court says the President broke the Constitution by not doing the right thing. But then the court said Parliament was guilty for not scrutinizing what he's doing and getting answers and clear answers on behalf of the people. Now, our president is right now rebelling against your vote. The vote says you can have 40%. He says, no, I want 72%. 72% of cabinet posts are held by the ANC, while the voters gave them 40%. Here's the thing, it's a year later. Have you heard Parliament ask him, what are you doing? Make sense of this. Have you gotten an explanation? I don't have any explanation. I haven't been told because my Parliament hasn't asked. And so, in our path to prosperity, one of the weaknesses we have in South Africa is that the citizens don't hold Parliament to account, to say, hey, you my voice, why would a year pass after I voted and my president is not obeying my vote? Either you tell him get it right, or you get me a proper explanation. We are no longer under 51%. You are now in charge of watching what the president does, and he can't rebel against votes. Because why else should we go vote? So what do? There's a solution. If you go down to the bottom, you'll find that I have a constitutional public submission for you. Because 1,000 of us are gonna bombard the speaker and say, Speaker, it's a year later. President has put a cabinet that looks nothing like our votes. Now, I asked many of you, and many of you said, no, we need to get it right. Absolutely. How do we get it right? Well, we tell Parliament to do their work. So here's what you do. You could do nothing and just comment at the bottom and complain, or you can do something. Send and be one of the 1,000 of us who are going to go and hit Parliament, because Parliament is failing once again, just like Andankandla, failing to hold the president to account and scrutinize his actions and get to ask him simple things like, remember your predecessor just ignored the public protector? Why are you ignoring the voter, the highest ranking individual in South Africa? We should have got an answer by now. But instead of doing nothing, we can do something. Go down to the bottom, click that link and go, and you can send. Because for South Africa to prosper, we as citizens have to strengthen our parliament. Someone is rebelling and setting up a fake parliament with fake people, with fake representatives, with fake chairpersons, faking to pretend to be the ear that listens to people's voices. Our parliament is supposed to listen to our voices. And so let them hear your voice. Between now and the 1st of September, I know 1,000 of us would have sent emails, constitutional public submissions to the Speaker's office. We'll be bombarding for the next 2 weeks that this video is live before the 1st of September, and we'll get an answer by the 1st of November. Someone says, what if we don't get an answer? Oh, then we escalate. So let's start here. And so I know some people I've heard saying, the point is just to get rid of everybody. Well, this is how you do it. I've heard some say, just do a vote of no confidence. Well, this is how we do it. I've heard some people saying, no, we need to bring fairness back. Well, this is how we do it. There's no losing side to this. The only losing side is when your president disregards your vote, you give him 40% and he takes 72% and you say nothing, then don't cry when one day he's taking your freedom, one day he's taking your life, one day he's taking whatever he can take, because you have trained your parliament to stay quiet, and this is a new parliament that has to listen and has to do the right thing, because their hand has been hit a couple of times and they'll get in trouble quicker this time than before. So let's do that if you're up to it. If you're not, it's cool. But 1,000 of us are going to do it. So no man can serve two masters. Either you'll hate the one and love the other, or you'll despise the one and hold to the other. So you cannot serve God and Karl Marx. So let's make history together. For those who are doing nothing, see you at tomorrow's videos. For those of you who are doing something, I'll see you on the other side.